Hey, good evening, fam. Good evening. Hope all is well with everybody. Hope all is well. Listen, I ran across this article, right? And I had to share this article because if you guys are following me, you on my past few videos, probably the past 20 to 30 videos, have been focused on retirement, right? And saving for retirement. Okay. And I ran across this article from this is CNBC. Okay, CNBC.com, right? And it was the article title was how much you need to earn to save $1 million for retirement. And this is crazy because when I don't think people understand the magnitude of saving for retirement. We are seeing right now in real time as to the people who didn't take it seriously. Um, the Census Bureau had an article roughly about maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and in the article it says 20% of people between the age of 55 to 66 have zero retirement savings. Zero. No IRA, no 401k, no mutual funds, no cash value life insurance. Zero, right? And when I saw that article, I made it my mission to speak on this almost daily because I want to help. I can imagine how scary that has to be for a person who is 50 and above and they don't have any retirement savings. Like, you already know that you may have to work forever. And that's fine for some people. But like I always tell people, because I have a friend who tells me this all the time. Oh, I'm gonna work till I die, and I just laugh. I just laugh because I'm like, it sounds good because right now you're in your early 40s and you're still strong. But once you hit 50, 60, 70, and your body can't go like it used to anymore, what are you gonna do? And this individual, I'm sure the reason why they said it because they don't have any savings for retirement, and it doesn't look like they want to even attempt to start one. So you hear a lot of people will say this, oh, I'm gonna work till I die. What would I do just sitting at home doing nothing? Okay, okay, okay. I've been in this field long enough to know and to see people who said that in the initial beginning and now they're saying, hey, I'm gonna do early retirement because somewhere along the line in the past 7, 8, 9, 10 years, the body changed. Something shifted, right? And I want to just urge you guys. And I know it's tough. It is tough living in America and trying to save money. It is not easy. There's so many things out here that can distract you, or not even can, that will distract you from doing the things that you need to do. Right? Again, I always talk about, certain African proverbs, right? And one that my mom used to tell me all the time. And again, I didn't understand until I got older. And she used to say, do the things that you need to do or that you must do while your hair is still dark. And she told me this when I was younger. And now here I am at 47 years old with all this gray. And it's kind of like hitting home. I'm like, okay, that's what she meant. It makes sense now. Because it's another young lady who I'll go back and forth with, and for some reason she doesn't value time. And what do I mean? She feels like age doesn't matter, that she can start at a later time. Okay, she could make life decisions at a later time. Okay, and listen, age doesn't mean life is over, for sure. It doesn't. But one thing I do know, and based on this business, is you have no control over what happens to you when you age or even time. There are people who I know who are healthy people at one point, and then time went on, they became unhealthy. As a prime example, I remember a young lady who I hope opened up a policy for, I believe, my third year in the business. They rated this young lady preferred elite. That means she was top of the line health. 10 years down the line, she was trying to get additional coverage because she bought a home, and we could barely get her covered. And she was young. So I'm talking about, so I'm 37, so she has to be about 37 now. So she's 37 years old, and life just changed, health just changed. So the reason, that's why they say you must plan for a rainy day. I don't care what you think you can do in your later years, doesn't matter. You must plan for. I'm almost sure those people who were in their 50s to 66 at some point thought to themselves, "Oh, I got time. I'll get to it later." And now all of a sudden, they look up and they're 55 years old, 60 years old, 66, and they have zero savings. Time fly by just like that. And this is why I'm going to make it my business to hopefully reach somebody. My video actually has been helping because I've had quite a few people who's reached out to me and became client recently, just this year alone. It's about 5 people this year alone that because they saw a few of my video and they said, "Man, this hit home. This is me that you're talking about." Quite a few people. You understand? I have another gentleman who messaged me, "Hey, I'll reach out to you, Maxwell." So it's working because at the end of the day, I will always tell you, just close your eyes and just imagine you being older and you having to go to work, or just imagine you being older and you don't have zero, no cushioning, no protection, like zero savings, nothing to fall back on. Can you imagine how scary that can be? You understand? Even right now, I saw a client yesterday. The mother want to work. Her mother want to work, but she's saying nobody's hiring her because she's older, which is true. 65 years old is a high likelihood of someone hiring you to work is going to be slim to none. You may have to do one of those, lower end jobs that don't pay well, but to do like a real job, it's probably not going to happen. Other countries, for example, again, I'm West African, right? And I heard this story. Don't know how true it is. Someone can check me on it. I don't know. But, I hear that when you reach a certain age, they don't hire you because they have to save the job for the younger people. And because while you were younger, it is your job to have accumulate and to save to take care of yourself when you're older. So there'll be room for the younger people. You know what I'm saying? Young people are probably gonna be more efficient, faster, think on their feet faster. You know what I'm saying? So a company will want people like that in their company. And it's just called life. And if you're walking around here and you don't have any savings, or you don't put yourself in position to be able to save, and what do I mean? Some people are just, what's the word I'm looking for? Stagnant, comfortable. They're okay in the position that they're in. But if that position is not allowing you to be able to do better or save, then you're heading for a head-on collision during retirement. I've said before in many videos, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, right? Based on the cost of living right now in America, if you're making less than 100K a year, it's going to be very difficult to save enough for retirement. If you're making less than 100K and you have a family, it might be even harder for you to save what you need for retirement. What do you need for retirement? No less than $1 million is what they're saying. No less than $1 million is what they're saying that you need for retirement. And the reason being, when you retire, doesn't mean everything goes away. You still gonna have rent. You still gonna have a mortgage. Your health insurance is gonna be sky high now because you're no longer at the job anymore. So now your health insurance is on you. You're still gonna have utilities. You may have a car note still. Auto insurance, right? Dental, right? Vision, right? You may even want to travel, join the club, spend time with the grandkids. Listen, I want to go over this number because this hopefully will wake somebody up, right? And what it is showing that like how much you need in income wise at a particular age, and I'm saying to be able to save 15% into a either 4%, 6%, or 8% interest on an account, right? So it's starting off at the age of 25. Okay. If you want to invest 15% of your income and you want to be able to save $1 million, by retirement age, which is the age of 65, right? If you're earning 4%, then you got to make an income of 64,684, and then minus whatever 15% of that annually is that can go into an account. If whatever you're investing in is earning about 6%, then you can probably get away with making $40,000 a year. And this is age 25, so they're still young. It's expected that they don't make good money right away. Okay, if whatever interest that you're investing in is gonna give you a return of 8%, then you can probably get away with making like 22,000. Okay, so you can save 15% of your income, and put it into that account that's on 8%, and you can probably you're okay with making 22,916. Okay, if you're 30 years old, right, and the same thing, all this number I'm giving you is based on you doing 15% savings, because 10% is no longer real. It's not gonna work. Okay, you got to do 15%. And like I said in many of my video, I had to force right now currently in my brokerage account, I'm contributing 30% of my income. I'm forcing myself to contribute 30% into my brokerage account. And then I contribute another $2,500 collectively with all my policies that I own into an IUL. That's $2,500 a month. So some months it gets real tight for me. It gets real shaky, real sketchy. But I had to tell myself, if I don't do this and make this adjustment, I'm going to end up working longer than I want to. So I have to force myself. Like, you saving money is you have to. Nobody's happy. Nobody's happy saving money. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody tell you.
Now, the free New Agent Telesales Super File just...
Sorry about that, guys. Nobody is happy saving money. Everybody wants to spend. But when it comes to a point in your life where you are now saying, you know what, I got to be responsible. I got to be a grown person. You understand? One of the reasons why I'm deciding to do what I'm doing is I'm looking around and I'm seeing what's going on right now in the world, but especially in America. And I'm looking at all these AI, these technology that's happening right now. I'm willing to bet by the time I hit retirement age, there's going to be robots walking around. There's driverless cars everywhere and semi-trucks everywhere, right? And unless your children are in tech or IT or programming or something, it might be tough for them to get a decent, it almost reminds me of iRobot, and I don't want to go there. So in my mind, I'm not only saving for me, I'm saving for in the event that I have to help my children and my grandchildren out, I'll be able to come through. I'm not just saving for me, I'm saving for them also. Some people will tell you, oh, they can, I had to stand on my own, they can figure themselves out, they're grown now. That's fine. I'm not knocking that. If those are your children, whichever way you want to, whatever, that's fine. I'm just letting you know about myself. So when they tell whoever still tell you 10% is enough to save for retirement, they're lying to you. Not with this economy, not with inflation. No, it's not true. Most people are now saying anywhere between 15 to 20%. Okay, so at age, if you are 30 years old, right, and if you want to save 15% of your income into like a 4% on an account, you got to make at least $87,553. If it's a 6% interest on an account, you got to make at least $56,152. And if you're able to invest in an 8% interest on an account, you got to make at least about $34,875. Now, let me pause for a second, because a lot of you guys may say, well, where can you get 8% nowadays? Well, the IUL average anywhere between 6 to 8%, some about 9%. Okay, that's about the average, over time. Okay, so it can happen. All right. Now, if you are the age of 35 years old and you're aiming to save $1 million, right? And you're saving 15% of your income. Okay, if you save it in a 4% fixed account, let's say, I don't know, let's say a whole life, let's say a CD, annuity, whatever. Okay, those are usually about 4% return, somewhere around there, right? Then you got to make about $115,000 a year so that way you can pull 15% from that and put it into a 4% interest on an account, which will allow you to accumulate, $1 million. If you're making $79,640, then you got to find yourself a 6% interest on an account that you can now save 15% of that income and put into a 6% interest on an account that will now allow you to earn $1 million by the time you are 65. If you're invested in an 8% interest on an account, right, at the age of 35, you would need to make $53,678. Okay, and now by the time you're 40 years old, let's say you're starting late. Okay, you're starting late, and you're 40, and you look around and say, oh my God, I'm like 20 years away from retirement and I have nothing. Well, if you're going to be saving into a 4% interest on an account, or CD, an annuity, whatever, right? You got to make $165,000 a year. Okay? If you find a 6% interest on an account, you got to make $124,783. And then if you're investing into an 8% interest on an account, you got to make $92,310 a year. Okay? So if you have a job right now that you're making $50, $60K a year, listen, I'm gonna just keep it real. You got to find something else to do, whether it's part-time or find that one job or that one career that will end up paying you $100K plus. Because when you're making $100K plus, the reason I'm able to do what I'm able to do is because I make well over $100K a year. Okay, so now I can put away 30%. It's still a lot of money that I'm putting away. This month, I believe so far this month, I believe over 4K have come out that went into my long-term retirement account. Is that right? Yeah, I believe it's about 4,000 that came out. Okay, I'll check that, but I believe it's about 4,000. Okay, listen, like it, it's been so tight sometimes that literally, and I'm a guy who I get my haircut every week. Okay, I'm a guy who likes to be out and about. Okay, I'm a guy who likes to eat. I eat. One of my expenses that I had to cut back is eating out. I couldn't find that I was spending $800 a month eating out. Right? Okay, I was spending over 200 and something dollars, almost $300 a month on my haircut. Factor in the haircut every week, tips, all that stuff, right? And then I the amount that I pay in tips when I'm in a restaurant or a bar or whatever was crazy. I'm talking about above 60, 70% that was tipping people. I no longer can continue that lifestyle. The reason why I increased specifically my deferred comp plan is with that one, I cannot touch it at all. Somebody literally have to be dying for them to release the money, or I have to be in retirement age. You understand? So, with that being said, I had to force myself to increase that, so that way now the picture for my retirement is clear. So it gets tight some months. And the thing about me doing it through the deferred comp plan is I cannot change my contribution until enrollment, which is the end of the year. So I couldn't even decrease it if I wanted to. And I'm okay with that. I found myself spending more time in the house instead of being out and about. I found myself watching every time that I swipe and ask myself, do I need this? Do I truly need this? You understand? I find myself before I leave the house, I'm asking myself, do I need to go there? You understand? I find myself when I go to the grocery store and someone just throwing stuff in the cart. Now I'm calculating stuff. And this is coming from a person who makes well above 100K. Well above. Well above. So listen, I want to share that with you guys because I've been getting a lot of this. Which to me, I'm a person who believes in signs. I believe in signs. Because since December, I've been getting all this retirement stuff, numbers, which tells me that these people, whether it's the Census Bureau, AARP, CNBC, Money News, they're seeing some very disturbing activity. This tells me that they're seeing some very disturbing activity. And that's why they're pushing this out. Let me close with this, right? This is how much you should have based on your age. And let me say this, if you don't have it, don't be what's what I'm looking for? Don't give up hope. Okay? Okay? You still have time. What I'm doing here is giving you information to start to make this up here start to run, start to think. Okay, start to get you to move and say, man, where am I? What am I doing? And some people have already watched this, already tuned out, and that's fine. And that's fine. You understand? Because those are going to be the same people who are going to be dependent on the government to help them. But then for the few who are watching this and they want to take action, right? Let me drop my information real quickly. You can text me at 443-208-5480. That's 443-208-5480. Or you can message me, go to my site and drop me a note. Let me know what you're looking for, or how I can be of service to you, and I'll reach out to you immediately. Right? That's TitanEvolutionGroup.com. That's TitanEvolutionGroup.com. Okay. Let me close out with this. So by the time you are age 30, okay, you should have the equivalent of your annual salary saved. So by the time you're 30 years old, okay, so from the age of let me see where I'll start out here. From the age of 25, by the time you're 30 years old, you should have, let's say you're making, I don't know, 30 grand a year. By the time you're 30, you should have $30,000 saved up in your retirement account. By the time you're 35, you should have twice your annual salary. By the time you're 40, you should have 3 times your annual salary. By the time you're 45, you should have 4 times your annual salary. By the time you are age 50, you should have 6 times your annual salary. By the time you are age 60, you should have 8 times your annual salary. And by the time you're 67, you should have 10 times your annual salary. So by the time you're, let's say 67, let's say, you're heading towards retirement, but that year, let's say you're making 100 grand a year, 120, then you should have about $1.2 million saved up, somewhere around there. Okay. And this is, even though you don't have it right now, this is something that you should want to shoot for. This is something that you should want to aim for. I haven't met too many people. I met a few people, but not too many people, that have quite a pretty decent amount. And when I've asked them, how did you accumulate this? They'll tell you like they've been saving forever since they graduated college or something. Most of the time they got a high paying job. Okay. But even the person who's making 60, 70 grand a year, okay, they can save quite a lot of money. As a matter of fact, I always tell people this: if you guys maximize your tax return, it can do damage for you. But most of y'all get your tax return and you ball out. You're getting free. I was talking to a young lady the other day, and she was telling me like she was getting at a point $6,000 to $8,000 to $9,000. I'm like, so where's the money? And she's telling me that she didn't know all these things that I'm teaching her now. Because I'm like, if her youngest child is just now turning 18. So all these years you've been getting $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 as a tax return. Where is the money? Listen, I hope this message reached the right person well today. I hope this message saved some lives today. If you want to sit down with me and go over a master plan for your future and start to save, so that way you're not hoping that the government will be there for you. You're not hoping that Social Security will be there for you. You're not hoping that you stay healthy, that you can work forever, because you absolutely have no control over the government being there for you. And you definitely have no control over, in a sense, your health in a way. You can do all you can do, but you never know. And this is what I'm trying to educate and teach you guys. You don't need to be a happy hour every Sunday. I'm sorry, every Monday through Thursday. I'm sorry, or Monday through Friday. You don't need to be a happy hour. You don't need to be a brunch every Sunday. The average brunch costs you about 70 to 80 bucks. The average brunch. And then depending on where the brunch is, you might have to drive there, pay for parking, gas. So you're looking at roughly about $125 at least. That's $500 a month on just brunch. By the time you calculate how much you pay for drinks at the bar and happy hour, all this crazy stuff, then you factor in all your yearly travels, all your Amazon purchases. Like, listen, to each his own. Everybody have their life and the way they want to live it. But I urge you guys to talk to people who are older and who are going through retirement or about to retire. If they want to be honest with you, because some people might be ashamed to tell you they don't have nothing going on and they are scared. Most people are going to be ashamed to tell you that they have nothing going on and they are ashamed. Most of the time, the people that's going to be open to tell you the truth are people who actually have great amount of money saved up. Because at that point, there's no shame for them. There's nothing. They are ecstatic. They are happy. They did the right thing. Plan worked out well. And have a conversation with them and say, hey, what did you do right? And if somebody who's not in a position to retire, if they're open enough to tell you, they'll be honest and let you know, don't do what I did. I'm moving this way because I was blessed by God to allow me to get into this industry that allow me to see things most people aren't seeing. It allowed me to see people who cannot stop working, who will work forever. And that's scary. That's scary. So listen, hope you guys have a wonderful and blessed rest of your day. Listen, if you made it this far, I'm a new channel. Actually, I've been around for a while, but I just started to get more and more into the educating of people by way of social media and the YouTube platform. If you can, subscribe and follow me. If you know somebody who could use this message, please share with them. Okay? We all learn and we all can teach other people. Listen, you guys have a wonderful and blessed rest of your day. I'll talk to y'all soon.